Yeah.
So here's our entrance. This is phase 2 right here that I pointed out. And this property right in here is the acreage that we're talking about.
Okay. So that little extra marina area is not even on this map, it's on the map here.
Yeah, it's right here.
No,
I got
this.
this.
Oh, no, not on this one,
Okay,
no.
I'm trying to orient myself on
This
that.
just shows from here
20
coming
different
back.
owners out there.
So essentially,
Even
this-
off this
this
map.
right
If it was
here.
just, if it was just the homeowners in the project, but if the individual outsiders, that's where you're gonna get an issue, so.
It's gonna be tricky, this is a management, this could be a bit of an issue for the town to keep an eye on.
Water treatment basin, is that gonna be a part of it, or is that
How many
outside of it?
That's outside of it, it's on the
Okay,
other
so-
side.
I've never seen one like this, to
See
be
this
honest
tree
with you,
line like that?
where you do it this way, all these storage places are owned by, you know, you got one owner, he leases them out to, you know, the customers.
Right
and
here, this is the
gates it
wetland.
and has
Yeah.
hours you can go in and out, like if they own this,
And
that's
here-
theirs.
So this.
And if some guy decides he's gonna have a big mess going on out there, then these guys have to go chase it down, that's a nightmare.
What if the guy comes in here and then
This
once
is
he
the
wants to
retention basin
have a
back here, and then.
But that's not
fixed
even,
motors
that's not
in
even.
schools.
That's
To
not
do
even-
that.
We're on the other side of
This
the
is,
tree
Mike
line.
should really consider just doing, just taking it out and
Yeah.
run it like a
Now it
business.
makes sense.
Imagine you could have equipment on either.
This service, this is outside of it as well?
Yeah.
It should be associated with it.
And this was
Well,
building, even though we're building village and
Yeah,
you put all your
the-
crap
So
down.
this PDD
Let alone the people
would
that
have,
live over
I think
here.
would have to go
But he
back to
could
the
sell
town
it.
board because
We're
the
with
head
the,
of the
we're in the
PDD.
parameter here.
But I got that one, the guy next week got
Has
this
to
one,
be
got
a
trash
truck.
cans,
Because when
he's
it first
got
came
lumber
out,
sticking out here.
Right, right. Yeah, right.
Where the other ones.
So they've got,
Mike, Mike,
they,
we need to sit down right now and
Behind
talk
overhead
about
door,
this
you
and
don't see
say,
the
this is not
traditional
a great
ones.
idea.
yeah,
But I don't, you guys are the
Right.
board, I'm not,
no, I agree.
I'm not imposing my will.
The
You
point
guys
is,
can
I
do whatever
never-
you wanna do.
I can't-
Have my equipment in
I have no
there?
real knowledge of the PDD,
Trash and lumber.
you know, and how it was done or whatever that involved.
Yeah, Phil has it's a pretty,
I don't know.
it's a thin, it's a pretty thin.
There you go.
Apparently.
Oh, yeah, I know, you
Architectural guidelines.
did
So all that is,
But
it
they
just
could have
says that
something
you
different than
know,
this.
these guys have a
But
PDD,
they
it's
gotta
these
follow,
tax
there to be an
parcels.
architectural guidelines.
It is
They might be
generically a
different
mixture
than
of
the
all
color,
these
but the bigger
things,
problem is
but then it ties to the
Imagine if you had
actual
this
plan.
in your contract.
And the plan
He's
is
got extra
one of
storm
these
doors,
types of
windows,
plans
lumber,
that shows
crap going
a
on.
nice, beautiful residential
Control,
project that
stuff
they've
piled in.
created
And
and
you're
has
next door,
developed.
you got one of these.
And now what
So
Larry,
nice and
what,
neat.
what, Larry and Mike wanna do is
This guy lives
add
right here, right?
this additional
He can put
component, which
stuff
when I
outside.
heard about it, I
Yeah.
thought it was
Whatever
gonna
hell
be
it
just
is,
for the
everybody
residents
shit all
in
over
the,
because
Contractor
in
bringing his equipment there.
the residential project, and that these guys were just gonna, it was gonna be a chunk of land that they own and they manage and they can rent it out to them, which is very manageable, I would think.
Full on concept.
But
We're
this-
gonna have
Well, you know,
people
remember we had
from the
a
development
situation here
that
2 years back about.
I'm not gonna do it unless I have 10 contracts from the people in the development,
It's the same.
which
Wow.
might be Larry and myself is a couple. So that's 10 out of 20.
But it still creates a practical issue for the town to try to wrap its arms around. And
Well, we
it's
have
a
to
big
think about
ask,
a little bit, I mean, you've got residential people that build a house and,
yeah,
right? So what's the
Yeah.
difference? So you're gonna have more upscale people that own
Yeah.
these things, it's not gonna be.
yeah. But
What's
here's,
the
I can answer your question, the difference is this, quite bluntly. Every time you do one of these storage, type of situations, it's a business, it's run by somebody competent like you and Larry, trust you at the end of the day. You're about to turn over 20 separate parcels of land to who knows who the hell it is, maybe you get 10 people, fine, but you never know who's gonna own the other 10 or what happens to the people in there. I just see the thing becoming a real hassle for the town to chase and try to figure out. Plus, you're gonna have to have covenants and a whole set of rules, the town's gonna need to be a part of them, which I always hate, because then that puts them on the hook, because it could become a real, I don't, there's gotta be a better solution for you guys that's gonna work better for the town than to go 20 separate
Well, the only
parcels.
thing that could work as far as you're concerned is that if we do an owners association, they pay a monthly fee. And we do the same as we have in Harbortown, each owner is a member and pays that monthly fee. And everything gets mowed at the same time, and there's regulations as to what could be out in the field, you know, next to it, and that kind of thing.
Is
And
that- Where did you guys
But
come
then
up with
they-
this model, Mike? Like, is this something you guys thought of on your own, or
Well,
did you,
just
do you see
talking
this
to our
exact issue
residents, our
somewhere else?
residents like to have their own boats, they like to work on, they
Well,
want
that's
a
fine.
heated facility.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it came out. They came to Larry and myself and said.
But the
we would
model
like
you're
this.
using here, to me, just doesn't work well for the resources that the town has to manage this. It's really tough, and again, like I said, if this was any other piece of land, it would be you couldn't even come in here and ask for this, it wouldn't be allowed. It wouldn't happen up in this area, the zoning wouldn't allow for it. Because you have a PDD, that creates a little crack, but at the same time, the planning board or the town board has complete discretion to say yes or no. And you gotta find a way for the town to
Right.
swallow this and
Look,
make it something easy to
John,
handle.
I think you need to digest this a little bit. Another question I would have, and we don't have that to my knowledge in the town, is if we had a PDD, like, if Harbor Lights were, not Harbor Town, but Harbor Lights were developed according to the plan that was originally submitted, it would have been a mix of commercial and housing. Now, again, to think through that a little bit, when you grant the PDD and there's housing units, which you have, others have too,
Mhm.
and they have the homeowners, a lot of that stuff is really not town, becomes not town issue, it becomes incorporated within your entity of that.
Mhm.
And the oversight is homeowners. How would that work? Could that work? Like, that's what I'm kinda throwing out there.
The biggest problem is that we would have to do a very expensive offering plan that gets approved by the Attorney General's office. Like the first one, I think, cost us $40,000 to do that.
You should be
And
happy.
it just gets to be outrageous.
Well, you'd be amending, but wouldn't you be amending, I guess the question would be, and it's purely a question,
Mhm.
can the HOA in a mixed development, okay, that has set boundaries, can they have retail assets or something that would come under the purview of the HOA?
Well, it would have to come to a vote with each member in the HOA. And then
Well, your HOA would probably have to buy into the business plan here, or
Right.
whatever.
Well,
you're
they would
doing.
have to, what would happen is, we could maybe incorporate this into our HOA, if the people in our existing HOA approve of it.
Right.
So what would happen is, each owner there would pay a monthly fee, like the owners here do, and when we have the same landscape guy mows the lawn, he'd mow the lawn in Harbortown, and the Harbortown commercial will say.
But you'd also have an oversight committee, the HOA, that would have some oversight over this type of a project. And again, I'm more or less asking questions.
Well, not
here.
necessarily, because as developer,
Are you-
Larry and I would be.
Are
the
you still,
oversight. Yes, we're
it
still-
hasn't hit 50%? I mean,
It
you
has
haven't
to-
turned
it has
this
to be
over yet?
100%.
Huh?
It would have to be 100%. We can control that to 100%. And we could do the same thing here.
But where are you with your current one? Don't you, I thought it had to go over to committee once you're 50%.
No, it's 100%. We got it so that we'd have to sell all of our lots for us to be out.
Oh, okay.
So we have this, we have the next phase, which we're going to control. And we can control that at the same as we do that. So it's doable. The only question is, and here we have these footprints that you see. So we'd have to do a
Sorry, can you
footprint
say
model for that, for people that they would have to build within that footprint, and then everything outside the footprint would be maintained by the association.
It's very complicated.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to,
It's
I-
a headache for you, it's a headache for the town.
I'd like to keep it that people own a property, they take care of their property. I mean,
We got a job for you here. We can hire you, you see how that turns out.
I mean, you know how we keep our properties,
Oh, you
all the
gotta- yeah,
people that,
you're not the problem.
well, all the people who live in my our subdivision here
Yeah.
are
They gotta-
high-end people,
right.
and they take care of their toys, you know, whether it's
Right.
boats and stuff, they wouldn't leave a mess out there, it's not the kind of people
The
they are.
issue is the fee structure, owning the individual lot is just problematic, there's a lot of moving parts.
But what if
a
this
lot of
was a
spaghetti.
housing subdivision, and houses were gonna go in there,
Mhm.
and you say, geez, Mike, we're not gonna do this project because people don't take care of their yards, it's gonna be a headache for us.
It's different with something like a storage,
But anybody
miniature
can go
lots
and
of
buy all
storage.
those lots, right?
Yes.
That's-
But they
that's
would
the
have to
problem.
they would have to fall under the HOA and whatever
If we did
fee
it that way,
schedule, whatever
if we
fee
did it that
schedule
way.
you came up with,
Well, what
everything
about-
else, right?
What about if they limited the number of outside units, 10%, 20%, you know, something like that? The majority would have to be owned by persons affiliated with the homeowners association.
Well, that's fine, cause we already know that we've got 10, I'm not gonna do it unless we have 10 to start the project. And as we do phase 2, there's another 45 homes, we'll get more.
I have no idea how you're gonna do this, or how it's gonna manage after it's all done. I mean, you probably should write up a written narrative proposal and say, here's what we wanna do, here are the issues that the planning board has seen, here's how we're gonna solve those issues. You're gonna have all kinds of moving parts and legal agreements and
Don't
who's
you right now,
ultimately
just,
gonna go in there and do
just
things.
for the heck of this thing, talking about this, isn't there some kind of moratorium on these storage buildings,
In
pole
this
barns?
town?
Yeah,
No, we don't have a moratorium on pole barns
You
and
just,
storage.
you just can't put a storage building on a lot
Single
where
lot.
there's not a primary structure.
So which.
That's what I'm
which-
saying.
so,
Okay, so
well,
under that-
But you're in a PDD, see?
So you can do that.
So the board could approve something with a PDD.
right, and that's why I thought you would be in favor of it, cause now you have everybody in one spot that's secluded, you can't see the buildings for where they are. And it's a nice area if you're gonna put some storage buildings up, that you have them in one area that's taken care of. I mean, we're gonna be probably close to $400,000 to put the road and the infrastructure in this.
Oh my God.
So it's gonna be high end, it's not some dirt road that pole barns are gonna go up.
John, why, can I ask you a question, why, is everybody familiar with where Terry's transmission on Taft Road and, all those buildings, or why is this any different than that?
Is that, those are individual owned lots, little tiny miniature fee interest owned lots with individual buildings on top of them?
Mm-hmm.
I asked if this is happening
There,
somewhere else.
that would have been
I don't
that
know.
would have been a
What's the
commercial
address?
subdivision.
It's all along Taft Road.
I would imagine,
No,
yeah.
I'm not on Taft Road
Terry's,
right now, so-
Terry's,
I drive on Taft Road.
the car place, there's, yeah, there's 4 or 5 of them right there.
They're just small buildings like with these.
Well, they're pretty good size. You know, they're not, I would say, they're bigger than what you're.
Smaller
What's the
than-
next door? What was the next door? Which place?
It'd be like Terry's Transmission, H&R, heating.
Terry, what next door?
There's
Terry?
a body repair and a guy with
Jeffrey's.
foreign cars, Jeffrey's Auto, yeah.
East Taft Road, let me look and see what I got here.
But I'd say that's just
Well,
a
I mean,
commercial
you
subdivision.
can tell me there's these things are out there, I'm telling you right now, it's a nightmare for his department when 20 different people have these little tiny lots with individual buildings, and some people are taking care of them, some aren't, and we gotta send the code officer out there to go cite people and figure out who owns what, and it's a mess. It's just nightmarish, and you have a great subdivision going there. If you're gonna do anything, I don't know why you wouldn't just create a facility and then own it yourselves and make money off of your
But that's not what
residents.
people want. People want their own structure with their own boats and sea-doos and.
But you created a PDD that was that model, so if you wanted, that they wanted that, you should have put that in your PDD to begin with.
Well, things evolve, John. You know how it
I know, and I'm not trying to give you a hard time, I'm trying to keep this town out of a bunch of
Well,
trouble that I can see coming.
we could go on here for quite a while. I think we need to digest this a little bit. We've got a map.
But can't you make that so that only people who own houses in there own those barns?
It makes it too restrictive for us to take that kind of financial gamble.
Write up something. Write it up. Write up. You're getting a flavor for where, you know, where some comments are coming at this point. And let's see what we can digest.
Could you do
Now-
just like half of it though, instead of 20 lots, just do 10 lots
And
for
where you
now,
said
because you
your
said
You have
that
to
you
be able to
didn't.
get to it, you know, I mean.
Gotta put the road in, you gotta put the
Oh,
infrastructure.
I
Yeah,
thought
but you only
said
put the road in
model
so far,
is over
if you're
So
gonna do
you're
10
saying
lots.
if I have 10 lots, go 10 lots, and then when I get more
Right,
sales from the
and-
development.
yes.
I could maybe do that, but long term, if nobody else wants to come in, I wanna be able to finish this. You know, if I need somebody to come in from the outside. I don't have that much left on my own runway of life, you know, I'd like to get it done, not have it go on for the next.
Well, I was just thinking, you know, if you went halfway and just seeing how it worked, and even if you wanted to even continue, you know? I mean, with it, how it
Well,
worked
go
out.
halfway, what ends up happening is I end up breaking even.
So, are
You
you
know,
gonna, are you running
whatever money
water?
goes in is money that's gonna go out,
So you're gonna run utilities to these lots?
yeah?
Well, are you putting water in there, or just power?
Water, sewer, gas, and electric, the whole.
So there's bathrooms, water?
Yeah.
Bathroom for this?
Yeah.
Why would they need
If they
bathrooms?
choose, but we're gonna give them sewer, water, gas, and electric. Let's say they're working on something in their shop, they wanna be able to go to the bathroom, or they wanna be able to wash their hands.
But that's a whole different character, it's a different type of
Yeah, but
character of the area when you do something like that.
But he'd have to put water in there in, hydrant
Somebody
just
wants to
for
wash their
insurance.
boat or work on their boat, they wanna heat the facility, cause they don't wanna have to winterize their boats.
And you'd have to put water there for insurance, for you to insure the building.
Alright,
You'd have
let's
to-
leave it at that, give us something, leave us this, so we can look at it, talk about it, alright?
You get two of those, right, Frank?
Yeah.
I can keep both of these, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh,
And what about the photographs here? We okay with this?
Yeah, you can
Those are,
take
those
these.
are just some types of
You
things
guys
that
trash are working on this?
proposing to put on
Yeah,
there.
we're looking
So
at-
you could have a variety of sizes and styles.
That's
But
what you just had,
basically,
metal with the metal
architectural.
roof.
Would you consider that everything the interior,
There wasn't
there's nothing on the exterior?
For storage?
Yeah.
Yes, I can make that a covenant.
That's one of the things I think if we go
Yeah,
forward.
yeah, no
Well,
convertible.
but I'm not seeing it there, I'm seeing it outside.
No.
So then nothing, like typically the traditional ones, everything's inside. What goes inside those things, the guard goes down,
I
nothing
can
goes
make that
there.
a covenant.
Right.
Right.
Because
Nothing,
you-
nothing is in the
yeah,
outside.
That's a good point, nothing on the outside, yeah.
We got that.
Help at least.
But you got one, right?
Can't store it.
Yeah.
I mean, after that, if we have that as a covenant, that you can't store anything outside, then it just comes down to mowing the lawn. I mean,
Well, who's gonna enforce the covenant?
Paul, your folder?
we'll have our own association.
You got the kind of money to take people to court when it becomes a big mess up?
You know, we've got all those houses where I am, I've never had a problem.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, those are worth, good chunk of, those are beautiful houses worth a
Yeah,
lot
and
of
the
money.
people, kind of the people that own those houses are gonna own this.
You get 10, what about the other?
None of that,
Hopefully more
it's different,
people.
this is all different stuff,
You
right?
wanna charge them a hell of a
Okay.
premium, make sure they keep it nice.
Alright, okay,
Thank you.
okay, you're welcome. Take a peek and see if,
This one outside,
huh?
this one outside.
Oh, they're okay, we're good, look, okay, we're,
No.
Kraus, no.
let's, this,
The other
So
two.
these are.
okay, one of those two, okay.
Maybe,
But no, but that should have, there was just something that came.
Alright, let's take care of,
there's no envelope, right?
no, I'll have to go up to get one
It's right here for you.
Yep. Okay, let's,
Kraus?
yeah, let's go to Kraus, get that taken care of. And then, we probably ought to put this sign, this, bottom return sign in the minutes that we've at least had a look at that, okay? And then if you wanna, I don't know, whether we can sit here and talk about, close the meeting or do something, can we do that? Or not?
Which thing?
Can we talk about that one a little bit more, or?
Which one are we talking about?
Okay, alright, let's let it go digest then.
Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts. The one that just walked out, I got a tremendous number of thoughts, and because I didn't know the nature of it,
No,
they're
neither-
still coming
no,
to me. It's just
no,
like
no.
total surprise.
Well, at least we found out what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't either. I kinda said, when he said, oh, they're
Yeah.
individual lots, I said, how you gonna do that? And,
Very, very
yeah,
good.
that's a different approach. Okay, in front of you, every one of you should have a copy of the Village of Chittenango Planning Board minutes from last night that contains a resolution that they pass per the map. Has everybody got a map that they can see? Okay, per that map, right there, that is the latest and greatest. That has the major issue is the entrance is now on the west end. Okay, as you reviewed it and was brought up, I think Dave, that, you know, somewhere, what if that property wasn't available? They brought that up too, and that is incorporated in the minutes, that they are in the minutes, in their resolution, that he needs to get some kind of a easement agreement on that property, saying that he'll always have access at that, through that entrance, okay? Then the tree business has been, the webbing and all that stuff is gone. And he's got 32 trees, and they're gonna be Norway spruce, 6 to 7 feet. He claims they're salt resistant, deer resistant, whatever, I don't know, but that's his claim. And he's gonna plant those, and he's gonna start those, he's gotta have them done by July. I said, you wanna do this now? And he goes, well, yeah, I wanna get, well, let's say it doesn't happen. When are you comfortable? 1st of July, it'll all be in. If they die, he's gotta replace them. Okay, that's gotta be in there. So I think about everything, and the big vehicles are going to the rear of that, are gonna be parked on the south side of the fence, on the south fence.
So my only concern, and I told you this, is if you're saying that the narrative overrides the drawing, the site plan still says approximately 32.
Okay, what I'll do is I will tell him, I can tell him tomorrow, let's take the approximate off. And I think that you ought to have in the legend there, he ought to say, they're trees and they're gonna be spruce 6 to 7 foot, that ought to be on the legend.
Right, it's not consistent, that's all I'm saying.
Okay, that's it, I agree. We can easily do that. And then, yeah, then he's gotta come up, as far as unfinished business, somewhere there, he's gotta come up with that language that allows the easement on that other property, somehow show him he's got it legally, that, you know, no, now, my understanding is that some of that is not necessarily in his name, it's in the family, but it's not his name.
And who's the applicant, Frank? What's the
I
name of the actual applicant here? Who owns the property?
The one in question probably right now, Sun Chevy.
Which is called UC one, yeah, so that's on, it's called UC one, so who's the actual applicant's name? Cause UC one's gonna, looks like UC one's gonna sell this to Jerry, whatever Jerry's entity's gonna be. And that's who you're gonna have your approval for. So the landowner has to sign off on it, which is UC one, and then there's the applicant, which is Jerry's entity, and I don't know what they're called. Where is it? I don't see anything,
Let's see what I got.
Yeah, in the,
Chairman,
in the
it
local
says Jerry
real estate
Kraus
setup.
Outdoor Storage Facility, but I don't know, is there an LLC or is there some other, you said there might be a different family?
The application says Chittenango Self-Storage, and then in parentheses, Jerry Kraus.
Okay, so it's Jerry Kraus, DBA, I mean, we should find out.
Yeah.
And
Who's our actual applicant here?
Because
well, and
on the real estate,
and
it
it
says that
says
it's
on
waterborne.
the map, it's Chittenango Self-Storage.
Yeah, but that's.
It's all owned by Carrie, I believe. His daughter.
Pardon?
It's all owned by his daughter.
His daughter,
All those things are in
and
his daughter's
his
name.
daughter's name is on this property that they purchased.
All
Where's
the
the daughter's name? Where do you see the daughter's name?
I read it in the paper.
All the
That-
storage
all
units that
that.
he owns, they're all under Carrie Mantra.
And it was in the paper about her purchasing this, or it's in her name.
It's everything.
Everything's in her name.
I mean, if we get to a formal resolution, we need to know who our applicant is, who the owner of the property is, just so it's all clear.
Yeah.
So, well, maybe we just, whatever you guys do here, just make sure we get that. If it's for Rose's minutes, I'm not preparing a formal resolution for this.
No. We can do that.
Just gotta get the right stuff on it.
Okay, let me make a couple notes, cause I told him I'd call him tomorrow and let him know where we are.
So Frank, you said one of the things is, a condition that the plantings that are gonna be in here must be, maintained, and then replacement of dead or dying trees with a similar size and species of tree. So it's to make sure if you got a 6-footer growing, you don't put a 12-inch
Well, you
sapling
get,
in.
of course, down the road, you're gonna run into
It'll
the
be
fact that.
expensive, it'll be expensive.
Yeah, one is gonna be 12 foot high, they're all
Right.
gonna be 12,
Yeah.
and you come in there with a 6 or 7.
Yeah.
But at least it's replaced and it's not dead.
It's something big enough to make a difference.
And you may find out that the spruce, they've got a disease, we know that. That may get them before the salt,
They
the
said
salt and the
They
deer.
said the Norway spruce, which I had planted in my yard, is the most hardy for this region. But every year they just came today and they root feed them. And all the spruce, all the pines have a disease. Now, you've seen dead pines all over the place.
So Frank, you said it's a spruce tree, 6 foot at time of planting?
Yeah,
But they look so nice. They do.
6 or 7.
Mine would-
That's right in the minutes, but that should be on the map. That should be in the legend on the map.
They're gonna take off the word approximate.
That's right.
Higher than that.
You don't care about spacing, right, between.
Well, you gotta
They
scale.
put sticks in and the fertilizing. Yeah, they come with a big tank and pumps it. Yeah. If
You
they
could
do, they
scale 'em.
don't-
We talked about that, but if you
I
need to,
just
you can
cut
scale 'em.
15 trees out of my yard. They died from it.
And that's all you need, right?
I just did my whole lawn. I just
So
see-
he's got on the plan, no additional lighting on here.
No, I.
Use the
And then
existing
rain-
stone parking lot.
Rain did it. Yep.
Yeah.
You really got hurt with the heat. Oh, yeah. Everybody did. Oh, yeah. I didn't, because mine's all weeds. That's what Chris does. I go, yeah, but I go,
The only,
frost comes.
well, which didn't get translated, again,
You don't care. I don't have to mow it then.
didn't get translated in that resolution, but in the discussion on the signs, there was, the height of the signs. And evidently in the village, the signs could be 15 feet high. And I said to Jerry, wait a minute, Jerry, you know what, you want those signs, don't you want those signs about fence height? You don't want them. So, I think we came to, no, 20 feet, it could be 20 feet in the village, in that particular zone. They had some discussion about how they needed to be mounted, but there again, that's, but anyway, I think Jerry and I, we came to an agreement 15 feet would be plenty high. And not only that, we kinda said, you get 32 or 4x8 sheet, and I imagine we're looking at plywood, we're probably not getting much farther than that, 3/4 plywood. You get that up there, the old wind's gonna whip that baby right around on you. So, that probably is not gonna be practical, but he was talking about, well, the trees are gonna grow, I said, but there's no other storage unit in the area, it's not like a gas station, you're trying to get the cheapest gas. Come on down to mine, I said, there's no competition here. So, we'll see how that goes, but there were some certain things that just weren't. Okay, so, anything else? I mean, I'll bring that up, remove the approximate.
No. This is, the village is already approved it, so let's go with that.
Remove the approximate, and, put tree species, and height on legend. What else?
There were no other changes made to the map from what we received?
No.
Okay.
They didn't even get into this, which I thought they would a little bit, but, I kinda said, I'm here, they were talking, they were kind of formulating the resolution, I said, is this appropriate for me to interject some things, and I interjected what we had, those things that we had talked about. And so, yeah, that's good, so they put all that in.
I see they're gonna have the easement in there for over that property. Easement for access to the.
Yeah, she's got some, there's language in there,
Yeah.
but, yeah, she's got that in there. They haven't got it, I mean, physically, they don't, that's something that's gotta be done.
Yeah.
But I reinforced that with him, you know, you gotta get that done. But we gotta get the right names, owner, whether it's an LLC, et cetera, you know, we'll get that straightened out. And we'll get these revisions to that map. Alright?
You're waiving any public hearing on this?
Yes,
And you're reaffirming the seeker that the village had adopted, so
Okay.
you're following their seeker.
I would like to just say that we're going to follow, after we do those things, then follow the language incorporated in the village resolution. Per the map that was submitted, and she did document that, but the 1026-220 Seawood map. Okay, can we have a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion.
Second? Okay, all those in favor?
Who do you have, Rose, Sherry or?
Dave
Oh, you had John. You had Dave and John, okay.
Alright, so we'll follow up, we'll clean that up in a minute. And we'll get that done. Alright, now that signage on the bottle return, probably I'll just put, because there is a special use permit on that property, we can just refer to that special use permit for the OTB that now is going to house the bottle return, whatever their name is. To give us that.
Creekside bottle return.
What is it?
Creekside bottle return.
Creekside bottle, okay, that, we accept their side proposal. Have a motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Do you have that?
Do you want this?
Is that the Creekside right here?
Yeah.
Right.
So are they staying within inside the sign itself, the original
Who,
sign,
Tucker?
same dimensions?
Yeah.
It was 4x8, it's gonna be 4x8.
Oh, okay,
There was, Frank's got a,
It's going right where the OTB was?
Phil was saying it was gonna be somewhere so it's not gonna block the OTB sign or.
no, it's gonna be there, but it's gonna be higher. They wanted it, the sign people were trying to tell them, I guess, this is the way I heard it, a little bit higher than the one that's in
Okay.
there.
Is it lighted, Frank, uplighted?
No, I don't think so, I think it was just.
It's a monument style
Yeah.
sign on?
Yeah, he's got a thing written here by the,
Monument style.
the only reason, you know, again, our law is not very, you know, as far as signs and things,
This is Mr. Tucker for the, Myers.
Mr. Tucker,
Hello.
how are you?
Great, how are you? Thanks for
Good.
having us tonight.
He's out of trouble.
We're sorry that, we had you out listening to the election returns, but not,
That's okay.
alright?
That's all right.
Put your stuff right there if
Yep,
you want. and,
sure. How are you? Good.
Yeah, rigid mount. This is unlighted, right, this sign? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's not get this confused. Here's your sign.
Sorry about that.
Okay, yeah, we're good with the sign. Yeah, we didn't vote on it, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Okay,
Right.
alright, Jerry, we're good, right? At this
Yeah.
point? Alright. You're looking for?
It's an STL now.
Myers, I got it right here.
You wonder if they're carving out the little pieces to tag on there.
That's good.
Well, that's separate, yeah, perfect. Alright, don't wanna get everything. Okay,
Is that it?
we're good with that, and that, this has gotta go, this is all gonna go, okay, folders for that. Okay. This is Mr. Tooker, surveyor for the applicant. Phil's getting this up here.
Maybe.
This is down on Harsh Road. and it's about a 3/4 of an acre piece, area that's bordering the canal, Harsh Road, and the Jim and Judy Becker's property. Judy, not Judy. What's her name? Wrong. It's Jim, I know.
It's Jim, yeah.
This is it right
Judith.
Judith, okay. It is,
here. This piece right here.
yeah,
It's that little corner tag right there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's half of it's side hill.
and they're gonna plug it right onto that, to the main, to the house.
Correct, it's gonna be a consolidation with the neighboring adjoining parcels. Yep.
Correct. You're right.
There's 3 parcels right there, correct? 3 separate parcels?
There are, yes, correct.
These are mine.
So the Beckers are gonna get, the miners are gonna give to the Beckers the .761 parcel right there, so the shaded parcel's gonna go into the Becker. And the Becker have a slightly larger piece.
Yep. So he'll increase from 1.64 to 2.401.
1.64 to 2.401?
Correct.
I know that I want a full, description of the deed.
Yep.
And
It's all provided. Yep. We're good.
you already know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, pretty simple, right?
Yep,
Can we do seeker tonight, Frank, and get
Sure.
it out of the way?
yep, let's do it.
Okay, so this would be an unlisted action, the board would be the lead agency for this, and going through the questions, I don't know if I've got a part 2, hold on.
Want this one?
The part 2 or part 1? I need the
No,
part
this
2.
is- no, excuse me. Only
I've
part
got
one.
them, I got 'em.
No,
Yeah.
only part one.
Alright, so we got our 11 questions that we know we have to answer. I'm gonna suggest that the answer to each of those can be no. And it starts with, will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulation?
Yeah.
Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity use of land? Small, right? Proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? There's no critical environmental area, say no to that. Will proposed action result in adverse change in existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure or mass transit, biking, or walkways?
Yeah.
Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation, renewable energy opportunities?
No.
Will the proposed action impair public or private water supplies? Public or private wastewater facilities? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, aesthetic resource?
No.
Will the proposed action result in adverse change to natural resources?
No.
Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems?
No.
Will the proposed action create a hazard, to environmental resources or human health? Okay, we've answered no or small impact to all these. I'll check the box for a negative declaration, which would line us up, Frank, for a public hearing at your next meeting at 6:45.
6:45, what day, Rose?
December first.
What's the date today? Third?
December
Third.
first.
Today's third.
December 1.
Yep.
First? December
And
first?
this is, what's the name of this?
First of December, okay. You have a motion for
Myers.
such?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
You're good to go?
Subdivision. I'll give you this in a second, Frank, cause I'm
You're
fill out
good.
the name.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you in December.
You will keep the plans?
Yes, we'd like a copy anyway.
There's 5 bond prints here and 2 Mylars.
Oh,
Now,
you got the whole thing, okay, sure.
I can provide 3 more bond copies if you like. There's
We
5 here.
need one, we're gonna keep one,
Okay,
and then, if you're giving them out as gifts,
Sure.
for Christmas, whatever.
3 months, or?
We'll sign whatever you want.
You bring my right,
There's 2 Mylars here.
I mean, I can't see any changes, so.
These are excellent, you can read everything on there.
Well, thank you very much, yeah. Yeah,
How many you taking?
I can leave them all here if you like.
Yeah, would you like?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, I've signed all of this, yeah.
I mean,
Like
You
you
need to, yeah. Okay, will do.
No,
Very good.
no,
Great, thank you.
This
Take care.
Myers
Sorry about you waiting.
Oh, that's okay, thank you.
Terry,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Myers is a, what, dentist or something?
Yes, he's an orthodontist.
There you go, in a nine.
Retired.
In a nine.
What's his
He's
name?
owned
Is it
that property for
Richard?
quite a while.
Yep. Richard
Yeah,
Myers.
Rick
the-
Myers,
It's
that's,
the old Harsh Farm, I think that's,
engineer, right, and,
that's what it is.
Chittenden?
These 3 lots were sold.
Or surveyor.
were sold
What's that?
back in
This guy's a
the
dentist.
late eighties.
Yeah, but there's another one by
You
the
know,
same
sold
name,
all
Rick
kinds of
Myers.
stuff.
Rick Myers
He has
is-
He's
some
out of
amazing
Canastota,
stuff.
right? He works around here and he's a surveyor
But
slash
he's had it
engineer.
for a
Yeah, he
number
was
of years.
just here last
Oh,
month.
I know,
Yeah.
so it's funny that
You
you
wanna
have
know
the
the
same
exact
name
date
there.
when he bought it?
No,
Yeah.
that's fine.
I was-
This
I thought that was
question
gonna be
here,
what's coming tonight.
there's, there was confusion on
Yeah.
what Myers
like-
it was.
Oh.
And I said, I
I
believe
like
he's
Rick
a,
Myers.
he's a retired physician or something in Oneida.
Yeah, Dr. Myers, from
Okay.
Oneida, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
great, thank you. Yeah, take care.
I said the same thing to Rose, I said, is this supposed to be Rick Myers, is the surveyor and superstar? Yeah, that's what I'm sure.
You wanna adjourn? So is that?
Okay, well, all right, we good?
Ready to adjourn?
We are ready unless we got something else. Counselor?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, you have a motion to?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Second, no second, we gotta stay here
I
forever.
said I'll second.
Okay, motion made and seconded, any discussion? Not hearing any, all those in favor?
Aye.
A planning board meeting for the month of November is